Greetings and salutations, friend. I am Jeremy Tank, and if you are watching this, I've got a question for you. How can I help you? What is going on in your life? What do you need help moving forward with? What do you need help doing? What do you need help transforming? If you are watching me, you've probably seen a couple of my videos. You understand where I'm coming from in the world, and maybe you're going, who is this crazy guy? Well, I'm the guy that wants to help. And I generally am the guy that wants to help with branding stuff, but you know what? Branding is so much bigger than that. Branding is really about helping you choose your path in the world and make that shit happen, right? You are the creator of your life, and when you live by everyone else's rules, you get kind of, you're put in the backseat. I imagine my parents' station wagon and taking journeys around the country when I was younger, stuck in the back seat, stuck in the far back, playing games, playing, travel games to make sure you didn't make too much of a mess. Oftentimes stuck with the dog, because dogs gotta go somewhere. So today, I just want to know what's going on in your life. What kind of challenges are you dealing with? Listening to the kind of stuff that I talk about, how could I help you? So, that's the big thing I really wanted to ask. Now today, I want to keep talking a little bit about the idea of identity, which is how others perceive you trying to be you, sharing you with the world, right? Because you don't experience your own identity. You experience this flurry of ideas, thoughts, voices, pictures that happen inside your head as you choose which ones are important, as you choose what are the most vital things to your survival, to your happiness, to your diminishment of pain, because we've all got some kind of pain going on these days, whether it's getting stuck inside or, body pain, back pain, head pain, thought pain, depression pain, anxiety pain. Oh my God, I'm getting old pain, like all those sorts of things. We all deal with all that. And that becomes an influence on your personality, an influence on the things you believe, an influence on how you see the world, an influence on your mind, an influence on your body, all of that kind of stuff. It really shifts who you are and how others see you, because you can't experience your identity. All you can experience is the experience of being, and the experience of all that crazy stuff that goes on up here, back here. That's the limbic system, and in your heart, and in your gut, and in your hands, and in your eyes. Like, all that stuff influences how you interface with the outside world. And the outside world is anything outside of you. Why is it the outside world? Great question. Glad you asked. So, in quantum science, we're finding that, you've probably heard me say this a couple times if you watch this, my live feeds. Teresa, I'm pointing at you. Hello, friend. Outside of us, outside of observation, what we see is that the universe, the quantum field, is essentially a whole bunch of vibration, a whole bunch of energy, just vibrating frequency, and frequency, is this sort of sine wave thing, right? It's just going in different heights, different peaks, different valleys, different lengths. Everything in the universe is frequency. And what we're finding in quantum science is this strange concept that all of these particles, all of this energy is essentially everywhere at the same time. And it's a concept that it's not transformed into the particle, and the particle being an atom, a proton, a neutron, a subatomic particle, quarks, muons, gluons, all these crazy things that they're finding nowadays when they smash atoms together. And basically they have these little tiny particles, pieces that fly off everywhere, and they go, that's one, that's another one, there's another one over there. And they look for things that they haven't seen before. They smash a whole bunch of stuff together until they can point out things that look strange, look different. They haven't seen it before. And all of a sudden they're like, there it is. That's a particle. It's a new particle. It's a thing. It's something we can measure. And what we see in quantum science is that these things do not become particles until someone observes them. And what's so interesting about that is that works backwards in time as well. When they run these experiments and someone doesn't observe until the future, it shifts the results of the actual experiment so that the wave becomes a particle in the past, in the registration of when they did the experiment versus when they saw it, which would be in the future, the actual results. So what we're seeing is that quantum, the whole idea of this quantum field, quantum relativity, quantum science, doesn't really, it's not time-based. It's not time-based. So that means you and me, we're the observer. And since I can't get inside of your head, I don't live through your eyes, I don't live through your experience, you are the observer of your reality, literal reality. I am the observer of my reality. I am the creator of my reality. Creators of reality. How can we get to that point, right? I want to create my reality. Well, I talked a little bit yesterday about the idea of identity shifting or paradigm shifting, quantum shifting, life shifting, perception shifting. And really what that is this whole concept that because you are the observer of your reality and no one else can observe your reality, that by changing the way that you perceive reality, changing the way that you spin it, maybe, when you see something, you hear something, you experience something, you taste something, you smell something, you touch something, when you go through that experience of it, you form an opinion of the sum total of that experience. Maybe you get a gut reaction from it. I was watching... I just forgot the name of the TV show. My wife and I went back and we were watching The Good Place. That's what it is, The Good Place. We were watching The Good Place, which is a great TV show to really think about the idea of good and bad and quantum and really kind of blow your mind with the fun concepts that they really introduce in that. And somebody likes that show too. Great show. And we're watching it, and Chidi Anagonye, in that show is a philosopher, has read all of the different philosophies, a master of philosophy, essentially a doctor of philosophy, teaching philosophy, and he knows so much about, great show, I agree, so much about the way that people think about themselves, their world, the relation to it, what is right, what is wrong, how we should behave, how we should not behave, right? All of this is philosophy. All of this is the concept of what we should or should not be doing morally. And basically anything that is against his moral code, which is a lot, causes him to get a stomach ache. And that's fascinating because they're supposed to be in the afterlife. So he really shouldn't be getting a stomach ache, except a stomach ache and that perception is still this tie-in of some sort of sensory perception of what he is viewing, observing, experiencing based on the knowledge of his own body back in the earth place. Now, what does that mean? That means he's dead. He shouldn't have a stomach ache. And yet, partially because he's in the bad place, he's still getting that. And, I had this internal monologue going, well, yeah, of course, because for however long he's on Earth, he trained his body to perceive these things in a certain way, and he carried that with him as his experience, his consciousness went to the next place. The bad place, the good place, any place in between. That's just part of who he is. So the whole concept about all this kind of stuff is that you get to choose the perception of who you are, the world around you, and your experiences in it. And by shifting these perceptions, by shifting how you see things, there's... Eckhart Tolle says that there's a space between actually experiencing something, the physical body experiencing, the heart, your energy field, your stomach, which ties into your vagal nerve, the vagus nerve, in and around the limbic system and the fight or flight. There's this whole tie-in with all of this stuff and how we feel about things. And there's a space between that and the neocortex, the expression of that, the outward expression, what we do outwards, and how we actually choose to see and perceive that feeling. So much of it is just feelings about who we are and what we're doing, and moving in a condition where we can spin that, where we can choose how we perceive. Now, this is a short example of this is sort of feeling excited. When I feel excited, for example, on my 40th birthday, my wife took me to Vegas, and it's the first time I've really been to Vegas. I'm 42 now, and we went to Vegas, and I'd never walked the Strip, so we walked the Strip. My brother went with me, my younger brother, and he kind of has been there a couple of times, and I view him as a party guy. And he's like, great, we're going to hit up this place and just keep walking and enjoying things. And one of my goals on that trip was to do the zip line down, it's the old casinos, I think that's Fremont Avenue. And there's this whole zip line. There's a lower zip line and a higher zip line. And I am scared of heights. I mean, scared. This is serious heights here, and I am scared of it. And I'm like, okay, I want to do this. I want to overcome this experience, this feeling, and certainly as I'm climbing the stairs up to the tower, and they're putting all these harnesses and equipment on me, and they tell me I've got to take off my glasses. I do not see well without my glasses at all. I'm going up. I am getting more and more nervous, more and more, and this is how I framed it at the time. I'm getting more and more nervous. I'm getting more and more scared. My stomach is tightening up. My muscles are tightening. I'm feeling like just constricted and tight, and all this weight of the equipment on me weighing me down. And somewhere near the top, I was there with my wife and a couple of friends, and somewhere near the top, I looked at my friend Dan, and he is just laughing and goofing off and having the best time up there. And I realized I chose this. This is my choice in life. This is my experience that I want to have. Why am I feeling nervous? I'm not nervous. This is that space. I am nervous, but it's okay to be nervous. This is a good reason to be nervous. You are high in the sky. You are going to play Superman right over the crowd, right over everything. It's okay to be a little nervous, but really, this is excitement. This is what excitement feels like. This is what it feels like to be alive and to do something crazy and fun. And all of us got lined up, and there was 4 of us. Yeah, 4 of us in it, in this bay, basically, strapped up, ready to go. And when they released the doors, everybody pushed off and went, except for me. So I kind of like slowly get to the edge, look down. I can't really see anything because of my glasses, and I push off. And the first thing I do is I hug myself super tight. And I can look ahead of me, and I see Dan, and I see Crystal, and I see my friend Chris, and they have their arms out, and they are like Supermaning it, and their arms sideways, and they're just like cruising out like this. And I got my arms in tight, kicking the camera. And the thing is, if you know anything about aerodynamics, if you think about ice skating, things like that, you pull your arms in tight, and then you start going faster. And that's exactly what I did. I started going faster over the crowd. I did not want to go faster, but I started going faster over the crowd, started going over everybody's heads. I ended up getting to the other side before the rest of the group. So I zoomed ahead of them, and then kind of recoiled and had to sit there as I'm looking down and freaking out. And now I look back, and it's fun. I look back, and I'm like, oh my God, I did that. We did that. That was so amazing, so fun. And it was because I had to shift the identity of who I was from somebody that was not able to do something, to somebody that was scared of something, to somebody that embraced that sort of experience, who had fun with it and did something that they knew they could do. Because how many people do this? It happens all the time. But I got up and I did it. And part of that was simply having the confidence in myself to get through that experience. And that was certainly helped because my wife supports me and tells me how great I'm going to be great at it. I'm going to do good. It helps having good friends to help you and support you and tell you that you can do things. But confidence doesn't come because we want it to be there. And this is part of the identity that I wanted to share, that maybe it helps you guys, maybe it helps in things that you're facing daily or weekly or monthly or just anything that happens in your day. Confidence is one of those things that's like motivation. It's like purpose. These things don't happen when you want them to. They happen when you start taking the steps forward, when you've started something and you can see that you are making progress, when you can see that things are moving forward, then, and only then, do you get the confidence to continue going. Because what is confidence? Confidence is the faith that what you are doing is going to work, and it's going to lead to positive results. And the thing is that before you ever get into something, it's hard to create that confidence. It's hard to talk yourself into it because you don't have examples. You can't see what's actually moving forward. It's hard to see those steps. But when you actually start something, like dig in, and I'm a big systems guy, I believe in processes, create a repeatable process so that the things you do can keep moving forward, basically with the least amount of energy from you, right? Conservation of energy. This is something the body loves and the universe actually loves. This is basic physics. Things move in the stream of the least amount of energy lost. So confidence is really implementing some kind of system, some sort of thought process, some sort of steps so that you can start moving forward. And sometimes that process is just pick your feet up, take the next step. Pick your other foot up, take the next step. But confidence is really, thank you, Sharon, I love you. Confidence is really just embracing that faith in yourself that something good is going to happen, something good is going to come of it. And moving forward, even though there might be a little bit of doubt, because doubt is natural, right? If we're looking at the duality of the universe, this whole idea of wave and particle, even waves themselves have an up and down nature to them. The top and the bottom, the length of times, the length of things, and all of this stuff. And what's great, by the way, is that we can actually see how the brain processes this stuff in real time through MRIs these days. And they are doing neuroscience that watches the brain and watches as people, they're wired up with like 23 electrodes all over their head as they get zapped and measured and stunned as they move forward in whatever task. And they can actually identify, okay, here is where they are starting to feel confidence that what the process somebody is doing to build something, to accomplish something, is actually kicking in and reinforcing itself. This is the reticular activating system in real time showing us we are actually moving forward in this small task. And okay, because we are moving forward, because we are successful, because we are doing this thing, we can actually create more faith in ourselves, more confidence in ourselves, because our brain sees how successful we have been up to that point. The same is with motivation. You don't start out at 5 in the morning running a mile. You start out at 5 in the morning knowing that you have to get up and do the thing. And it's up to you to push into it, to embrace that difficulty, to start challenging yourself, knowing that once you get into it, once you start walking, once you start jogging, once you start running, then you create a system, a process, something that is repeatable, and your mind goes, I can be successful at this. I have made it this far, I can absolutely make it the next step. Purpose, same idea. It's difficult to say this is my purpose unless you start moving in a direction, in which case you can say, I can see how far I have come, therefore I can make the rest of everything, because it just breaks down to little steps. So wrapping this back around a little bit to your identity and who you are, it comes down in a lot of ways to faith. And I love the idea of faith. I love faith in general. I'm not talking religion here. I am talking faith. Faith being the choice to believe in something without yet seeing the proof of it. And faith a lot of times is based in a belief, right? And beliefs are certainly from our younger training, our growing up before the age of 7, when the theta channel, the theta frequency of brainwave allows us to be easily programmed by our family, our community, our society, and learn things quickly and grow quickly. It creates beliefs in us. We can create beliefs later in life, but this whole process of just growing up to the age of 7 creates a lot of fundamental beliefs in us about what is and is not possible. And in a lot of ways, what that means is that this child experiences good, bad, everything. I like to refer to it as types of trauma, because really that's what it is. We are exposing children, ourselves, to something that is outside of themselves, and that's traumatic. Anything that is outside of their head and is in this outside world is new, is exciting, is dangerous, is potentially traumatic. And it really depends on how they experience it, how they reflect on it, to how it programs their body and programs what happens, the belief about something. Is a dog going to be friendly or hurt you? Is it dangerous or is it good? And the limbic brain, the fight or flight response, the caveman, Neanderthal nature of who we are, our base primal instincts want to move us towards satisfaction, which is often safety, the familiar, and away from potential pain or death, right? So these beliefs that we gain in this time are all about keeping us safe, keeping us in a familiar territory, moving us towards that satisfaction, towards safety, towards things that help us grow and stay alive and survive. So we're talking food, shelter, reproduction later in life. Things that can allow us to get to that point later in life are what's programmed into us in that early theta brainwave state. So but we get down to it, we get older, a lot of times what we find is that those beliefs distort the faith. Because faith is based in the belief in something. And it is really, what do you have faith in? If you have faith in yourself, you are telling yourself you are good enough, you are worthy enough, you can absolutely accomplish something. And if you haven't looked at the path that you've traveled already, it's difficult to say, oh, here's the point where I did something, here's the point where I did something else, here's how awesome I am. And a lot of times what we do, and I talk about this before with the Pareto principle, is that when 80% of our lives are good, we look at that 20% that is mediocre, that, or maybe just that 2% that sucked, that really sucked. And the things that are good, the things that are mediocre tend to go on this medium line, but when things suck, it pops it out because that caveman nature says, whoa, this is going to prevent us from finding satisfaction. This is going to create more pain. This is going to create more trauma, more heartache within our lives. So we tend to focus on those things that are negative, and we miss all of the stuff that we have done in our life when we reflect on it, when we try to express who we are going outwards, that show us we are absolutely amazing. You are absolutely amazing. The things you have done in your life, the things you have accomplished, the words that you have said. When we look back and reflect on this, we see that we really should have so much more faith in ourselves, in our own ability. We should have confidence galore for everything that we accomplish, everything we do, everything that we talk about, all the conversations, all the people we help in the world, the energy we share, the positive nature of life. And of course, the older we get, there's time to reflect on some of that and learn that the beliefs that we created in earlier experiences aren't necessarily true. They aren't. Not all dogs are evil. I grew up with a ton of dogs. To me, dogs are family. I don't care what dog it is. I want to get on the ground. I want to roll around. I want to scruff its neck and give it a big hug. That's my life. That's how I grew up. My mom raised dogs of all different breeds. And to me, that's family. I just want to get down and love them. And the older I get, the more I realize that belief that all dogs are safe and friendly, I know is not true. So this is the deeper level of that. We have faith, which is based in a lot of beliefs that we gain through life. But these beliefs, when we look at them, are really choices. And some of them are not conscious choices. Some of them are choices that are subconscious, our other than conscious selves chose. Sometimes in a fight or flight response, sometimes just through repetition and learning, sometimes through society, sometimes through punishment. All of this stuff qualifies as trauma because trauma is the trainer of the body. Trauma is what gets us in a fight or flight state that trains us. This is safe, this is not safe. This moves us towards satisfaction, this moves us further away from satisfaction. This is very familiar to us, which is not always good. This is unfamiliar to us, which feels strange, which feels cautious and dangerous. But underneath all of this is our choice. Our choice in who we are, in who we want to be, in who we want to present to the world. And by understanding that at the base of confidence is this faith, at the base of the faith is are these beliefs, and at the base of these beliefs are the choice to be a certain type of individual, a person of high repute, a person of nefarious means, a person of theology, a person of spirituality. All of these are choices, and we embrace the identities that we see around us that reflect those choices to us through our perception, through our observation of the world. And in that way, we mirror what we see in others and what we want to become and what we want to choose from that, and we embrace that. And from there we create the identity that we want to share with the world. And at the same time, we remove those pieces that are blocking, that are filtering the quantum self, the soul, the super consciousness, the part of ourselves that is greater than ourselves, that is at the core of the quantum field, the possibility that you can be everything and anything. And that possibility is really part of this whole mirror. If everything is everything, what are you? You are everything. And that's really what I want to share with you today is you have all the reason in the world to have confidence in yourself, in the things you are doing, because you are amazing. And when you look back and see that 80% of your life, 80% of anything you do, 80% of just the world recognizes you as being amazing and a beautiful person and outstanding, caring, compassionate, just out to help people, right? Even if it's family and friends, that counts, because sharing, caring, expressing, this is part of being alive. This is part of being part of a community, and caring for others and helping things grow, moving beyond ourselves, not just being the individual looking out for this. Because honestly, we don't grow as a species, as humanity, without looking for each other. There's a huge part of who we are in the prefrontal cortex that is communally based. Mirror neurons literally are reflecting everybody around you, so that you can embrace the things that you see that you want to be in your future and express them again outwards. Sometimes we don't express them well because we are an imperfect mirror. And because we don't experience our own identity, the best we can do is mimic those around us and have confidence that when we choose who we want to be, and we mimic the good things from around us, the personalities around us, that we're on the right path. Because no matter what path you're on, it's the right path. And that's pretty much what I want to share today. Thank you so much. If this stuff interests you, I really am curious about the question I asked at the top of this video. You know, how can I help you? I have my program. It's called Manifest Design. It's all about helping you choose the vision of your future and crafting your own self and crafting your being and crafting all of this identity to be able to create that. Because I know you are capable of creating that. You are a powerful creator of whatever you want in life. And you do it unconsciously. And so many times that unconsciousness is stuck in negativity, and I'm here to tell you, wipe that away. Because when you have faith in yourself and see what you accomplish, and every step of it is even greater, carrying you into an amazing future, it's all possible for you. So thank you very much, and have a great day. Bye.